It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, it's been an all-metal week and it's now Friday. We've made it to Friday and I have an epic Masterpiece Friday for y'all today. Of course I would. At the end of Metal Week, we're going to Ozzy Osbourne's debut album, The Blizzard of Oz. We're going to be listening to all of side one and I am happy that you are joining me. So, in addition to the several videos that we have done on music by Black Sabbath, I've done a few pieces from Ozzy's solo career. We looked at Diary of a Madman. That's from his second album, the title track from that album. That was episode 232. And then just recently in episode 571, Mr. Crowley. And we took a look at that one. Of course, that one is from this album from side two. And it was wonderful. But today we're doing side one, and I'm just pumped to get to this. So, Blizzard of Oz is Ozzy's debut solo album. It was released in 1980, and there was quite a bit of stuff that was going on behind the scenes that led to this album. Okay, Ozzy had briefly left Black Sabbath in 1978 to pursue a solo record that he was already calling The Blizzard of Oz. It was a title that was suggested to him by his dad. Ozzy then returned to Black Sabbath to record Never Say Die and then tour with the band in support of that album. During that time, substance abuse was plaguing not only Ozzy but other members of Black Sabbath. And to many onlookers who were taking a look at their tour, it looked like they were being outshone on stage by their opening act, the more youthful and energetic Van Halen, right? So when Sabbath returned to the studio in 1979 to work on the next album, the tensions between the band members proved just to be too much for them to overcome, and Ozzy was dismissed in April of that year, and he was replaced by former Rainbow vocalist Ronnie James Dio. So Ozzy then assembled this new band, which included guitarist Randy Rhoads and bassist Bob Daisley, and they later added drummer Lee Kerslake. And they rehearsed for a short time before traveling to Ridge Farm Studio in Rusper, England, to record what would become The Blizzard of Oz. And it has gone on to be one of Ozzy's biggest commercial successes. In 2019, it was certified 5 times platinum. And it's one that I haven't heard a lot of. I think I know Crazy Train, but other than that, I don't think I know any of these. Y'all, we're going to listen to all of side one. It's 5 songs, and it's got about 20 minutes of music. I have imported some audio, so I've got all of side one together, and they're going to go from song to song, and I'm looking forward to it. We've got Ozzy Osbourne on vocals, Randy Rhoads on guitars, Bob Daisley on bass and backing vocals, Lee Kerslake is on drums and percussion, and I should have mentioned this, Don Airey is on the keyboards. All of the songs here are written by Ozzy, Randy, and Bob, except for the fourth one, D-E-E, which is written by Randy. So let's get to it, y'all. Strap in. We're going to listen to the entire side one, and we're going to start off with the song I Don't Know. All right, y'all, let's hit it. Here we go. Slow intro. Come on, y'all. Right. Big riff. Yes. Don't look to me for answers. I don't know them. How am I supposed to know? He's talking about being left behind, right? It's pretty telling that this would be the first song on the album that would be the first of Ozzy's solo career outside of Black Sabbath. It's a great riff. Got a G. Totally a guess. Whoa, chromatics on the way down. Goes to D. He's talking about how everybody goes through changes and they seek to find truth, and answer those questions. He is left not knowing what's next. So he's starting out. He's got to rebuild it. Guitar solo. Hit it, Randy. Down the bass is great as well. That goes. A restatement of the first verse. I got left behind, he says, and I'm lost. Everyone goes through changes, looking to find the truth. Don't look at me for answers. Okay, that's the end of that one. I don't know, he says. It just went right down the scale to A. And I think... all aboard, y'all. Crazy Train's up next. I like just hitting play and letting it go. This I know, my friends. Yeah. Oh, he gets to A. Major key. The riff is in the minor key, but the verse is in relative major. Still an A. how to love and forget how to hate. It's a lovely lyric, isn't it? Back to the relative minor. This is the first single from the album, the very first single of Ozzy's solo career. It's one of his classics, right? Even I know this one. So he's listened to preachers, to fools, he's watched the dropouts who make their own rules. Sounds like he's equating this non-stop echo chamber from all corners of society. But the media sells it, you live the role. So there's only like a specific narrative that's been relegated to, to the primary importance and everything else is secondary. Hello. Things are going wrong for me, you gotta listen to my words. Okay. Down to D, down to B, back to F sharp. Too much over that awesome solo. I was listening more to the solo than I was to what's going on in the song. And now the big riff over F sharp. La, sol, la, di, da, di, da, di, te, sol, sol, do, right? Okay. Heirs of the Cold War, that's what we've become. Inheriting troubles, I'm mentally numb. Crazy, I just cannot bear. I'm living with something that isn't fair. I didn't realize how Cold War connected this song was until reading into it. Rails, y'all. Wow. I don't know if I like Ozzy better with Tony or with Randy. That's a tough choice. They're both great. Is that gonna fade out? I believe that it is. And he's laughing as it goes. I'm actually going to pause it really quickly before I get to the next song. Pause it there. Okay. So in reading up about this, of course, I've heard Crazy Train, y'all. I'm not completely under a rock. But Bob Daisley recounted a story about how Randy had this signature riff, the signature riff of the song that he was working on, and he says there was a chugging sound coming through via his effects pedal, that chug 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 that was coming through the speaker, right? And knowing that Randy was a train buff like he was, like Bob was, Bob came up with the idea that it sounded like a crazy train, which gave them a jumping off point to craft the rest of the song. Ozzy starts riffing some melodies, and everything kind of comes together. Really interesting how the idea of the title of the song is connected to something personal to them and something that's literally happening as they're just playing with the riffs. And then the rest of the song gets filled out and fleshed out to what we know. That's really cool. I'm going to keep going, and the next song is called Goodbye to Romance, and it goes like this. Here we go. Time between songs. Sorry. There it goes.
Yesterday has been and gone. Tomorrow will.
There's an interesting effect on the sound. I think they're slightly out of tune with where my piano is, so I might not play much on this one. D major. Everybody's having fun except me. I'm the lonely one. I live in shame. Major key. Let's see how that sounds. That's not bad. Yeah, that's out of tune, isn't it? That one alone for the rest of this one.
I've been the king, I've been the clown. Now broken wings can hold me down.
Lots of seventh chords and the guitars.
The jester with the broken crown. It won't be me this time around to love in vain.
It's a ballad. It's a real vulnerable lyric. It shows us that Ozzy was unsure of his future, unsure of himself. Goodbye to romance, goodbye to friends. Goodbye to all the past. His confidence was really shaken, I think. Coincidentally, this is the first song written for the album. A goodbye to his time in Black Sabbath. By scale step in a major key, all diatonic all the way down to 4. Goodbye to all the past. I guess that we'll meet. I do like how it goes a little bit optimistic in the last verse. The weather's looking fine. I think the sun will shine again. Are we still hopeful? Start, Ozzy.
I say goodbye to romance. Yeah.
I love all of Randy's playing. Bass playing. The drumming is great. It's really wonderful.
I guess that we'll meet.
I love that we get a ballad after those two heavier tunes. The next one that's going to come up is an instrumental. It's called D-E-E, and this one's by Randy. It's an instrumental track. I'm guessing it's just going to be him on the guitar. He wrote it for his mom. We're in the same key. That's 5 to 2. 2 to 5. I love this. Makes sense that he would name it D-E-E in her honor. It was in D. Okay, last song on the side. Suicide Solution.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. Suicide is
An A.
always thicker. Take a bite and drown your sorrows. Then it floods away tomorrow. Away tomorrow.
Floods away tomorrows.
Evil thoughts and
Bottle can drown your sorrows.
Cold alone, you're hanging ruins. Thought that you'd escape the reaper. You can't escape the master keeper. 'Cause you feel like some feeling you're living a life. Such a
Love the step. They went to B.
and you're wondering why. Then you ask
For the chorus.
is the life after birth? What you sow can be held
This song
on
can
this
be held on this earth.
Now you live inside a bottle. The reaper's traveling.
Piano doesn't really fit this, does it?
It's catching you, but you don't see. The reaper's you, and the reaper is me.
Tonic.
Breaking laws,
Yeah, that goes-
knocking doors, but there's no one at
Yeah,
home.
back to B.
Make your bed, rest your head, but you lie there alone. Where to hide? Suicide is the only way out. Don't you know what it's really about?
Back to A.
Now, people, you really know
Simple little riff. May Ray Tay Do. Real bluesy kind of a sound to it, too.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. Suicide is slow and liquor. Take a bite and drown your sorrows. Then it floods away tomorrows.
It's amazing to me how unified harmonically the entire side of music has been. Where I think in A minor in the first song, F sharp, and A major. In the second one, D, I think, in a couple. And then this one is back and forth between A, there's been some D in here, and some B minor. It's all kind of right in the same sort of general area in terms of overall note content. A really unified side of music. Cool effects. that's going to fade out. Fun. That concludes side 1. Friends, what a side it is. 4 songs, and then the little instrumental from Randy on that one. Lovely. It's the first time I'd ever heard all of that except for Crazy Train. So, from Ozzy's autobiography, let me see if I can say that again. Autobiography. Thank you. Ozzy tells the story of how this song was created. And he says, we were at a party for a band called Wild Horses at John Henry's, a rehearsal studio in London. Everybody was fucked up on one thing or another, but Randy was sitting in a corner experimenting with riffs on his Flying V. And all of a sudden, he just went, da da da, da, and Ozzy starts, vocally describing the riff. And he says, I shouted over, whoa, Randy, what was that? And he just shrugged. And Ozzy says, I told him to play what he'd just played, and then I started to sing this lyric that I had in my head for a while. Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. Suicide is slow with liquor. Definitely rhymes, doesn't it? And then Ozzy says, and that was it. Most of the song was written right there. The night ended with everyone on stage jamming. Which is an interesting anecdote. Ozzy has also said that he was thinking about his friend Bon Scott of AC/DC, who had died of acute alcohol poisoning, when the lyrics were being written. And I went and looked. This album was recorded just weeks after Bon died. And meanwhile, we have Bob Daisley, who is the co-lyricist of the song, and he has said that he was actually thinking about Ozzy's excesses with drugs and alcohol while it was being written. And as Bob is the main lyricist, I think, for this newly formed group, I'm tempted to think more and side more with Bob's thoughts on the song and inspiration. But I'm really sure that Ozzy's not kidding us, though. I'm sure he was thinking of Bon while at least singing and recording the song and the album as his death had just happened. And his struggles with alcohol had been going on for quite some time. I'm not sure how much he was thinking about Bon when the lyrics were written, if they were rehearsing the stuff before he passed. But it's a fantastic hard-hitting tune, right? Suicide is in there, and so it's a tough topic, but they're letting out their emotions, some raw emotions about themselves, the path that their life has taken, their struggle with addiction, and what their friends are going through. It's a really fascinating thing to really empathize with and clue into, rather than just kind of rocking out to the sounds that we hear. As I kind of conclude today, y'all, one of the more profound lines on the entire side of the music, I think, is from verse 1 of Crazy Train. And I kind of said it as we went through it, but I think it's just a remarkable lyric. After he says we're crazy, and after we're told how millions of us are living as foes, we get, maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. And it's a lovely lyric from Ozzy. And I'm reminded, I was born in the late 70s in the South, and I was part of a culture, and I found myself as a kid in the early 80s thinking about musicians similar to Ozzy and Ozzy himself as somehow evil, right? Or an example of the downfall of proper society. And that's just utter bullshit, right? We can agree on that. I've come away, I don't think that anymore, obviously. But, in the intervening years, especially with Ozzy's TV show on MTV with his family, I've found him to be a really uniquely interesting family man who loves his wife, he loves his kids, he's quite empathetic, he's kind, and he's truly interested in the well-being of other people. He's not this, prince of darkness that some in society made him out to be. And it's a true gift, a blessing to be able to go back and listen to his music and try to get into his mind and the minds of the players to understand where they were coming from. He was a rock star in Black Sabbath, and he struggles with addiction. The other band members are like, we can't do it anymore. You're out. And he's like, well, shit. Do I have what it takes? Was I riding their coattails, or am I Ozzy Osbourne? What's going to happen next? And so you have some, especially in this first side, of songs that have real vulnerable lyrics in them. And the music is great. And of course, it's gone on to be a really big commercial success all these years later. This album is over 40 years old now, and it still sounds just wonderful. Really does. And it's 2023. I know that Ozzy's health these days is an issue. I know that his health is keeping him from continuing to perform, and so I hope for healing and well-being for Ozzy, and I hope to see him flourishing with his family and with his music quite soon. And I hope that he's not done dazzling us with his musicality. I intend to get to side 2 of this album, friends. I will do that on a future Friday, but that is all for today. I thank you for being with me. This has been fun, an all-metal week, and we finished it off with side 1 of Blizzard of Oz from Ozzy Osbourne. Quite an epic week. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.
It's the Daily Doug. Welcome to the Daily Doug. The Daily